Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Sam and Doug work on installing the flywheel, clutch, and transmission in the Alpha 1 GTO. They chose to go with a 5-speed manual transmission, which will give Doug complete control over which gear to select and always be in the power band.
Well, here's another big part of the project, Doug. Matt with American Powertrain really came through, giving us this TKX transmission, 5-speed, compact. This is their newest line. It's going to handle all the power that 347 is going to put down.
Yeah, now we have to go ahead and put it in the car, mock everything up, make sure the transmission angles are right, and we want to make sure that the drive shaft, so when it moves up and down, it's in a neutral position. So we've got a lot of work in setting all of this up, and we're going to most likely have to cut the brackets and fabricate some to be able to hold this beast. We've got a lot of power coming out of that motor.
Yes, we do. We don't want to twist this car in half. Now with this kit, Matt includes a 26-spline Chevy clutch with the Ford flywheel, and the input shaft of the transmission is correct to the pilot bearing of the Ford. All we got to do is mock it up. Let's get it started. First, we're going to put in the clutch and the bell housing so we can put on the transmission.
Yeah, what we're doing right here is we're aligning the clutch plate, and we're using a clutch aligning tool. So this end right here goes into the pilot bushing, and this will go into the clutch plate itself. And what it does is you have to align it, because if you don't, when you go to put the transmission in, it won't go in because it's going to be hitting the pilot bushing. So you really need an alignment tool. Now this is a universal. We can change the tips, but they also make car-specific ones that'll have the right splines, and it's going to have the right end to be able to go right into the pilot bushing. That's real important.
Okay, Doug, it looks like the transmission's going to fit in the tunnel, no problem. Even looks like the shifter location is going to be correct once it's bolted in, but the original transmission mounts are going to have to go.
You know, I saw that, Sam. You know, the problem is we missed it by that much.
Only that much.
That much.
Not bad.
So now we got a lot of work. We're going to have to cut these out.
Yep, we're going to cut those out, put it back in, and see what we need to do. We'll get the frame stiffeners, put them along here. That way we'll have a good foundation to build a cross member.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The shifter that Matt provided with this TKX transmission actually can be turned 180, putting the shifter 4 inches closer or 4 inches back. Not only that, but the offset shifter has a 360-degree turn to it. It's got another offset that's an inch longer. So the shifter's perfect. All right, Doug, the transmission is in. Look at that, it clears everything in there. What we have to do next is make our subframe connectors so that we strengthen up the subframe. Then we're going to make our cross member.
Yeah, we also have to make sure that the transmission is in line with the rear end. We're going to have a slip yoke, because as this rear end tends to move around, the slip yoke will allow yoke to slide in and out however is needed. And yeah, once we get it all buttoned up, it looks good, but I'm amazed at how well
it does fit well.
It fits.
Get to the bell housing bolts and everything. Then what we have to do is, before we finalize everything, we did not put the hydraulics in. So before the transmission goes in one final time, you put the bell housing in, you take some measurements from the end of the pressure plate to the surface of the bell housing, take that measurement, shim your hydraulic slave cylinder correctly so you have roughly 10 thousandths air gap, and then we could put the transmission in one final time.
Yeah, and the hydraulic systems are great because that really gives you a lot of ability to move stuff around. The old mechanical systems, it was difficult to get a line of hydraulics. It just moves the clutch in and it's great.